Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Chelsea, and welcome to
Nick and Chelsea's Gen Excellent Adventure,
where we chronicle 50-something parents of a 5-year-old as we move from the USA to the UAE.
You can also follow our journey on our Instagram page, Nick Chelsea Gen Excellent Adventure, or you can just type the name of the podcast in. If you have any questions or subjects you'd like us to address, go ahead and send them there, and we will go ahead and deal with that in the next episode.
Okay, so we are going to talk about a few different things tonight. You can look forward to more conversation about the weather. This time we're also going to touch on school musicals. And then lastly, you probably wouldn't expect this, Dubai basketball.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff to talk about this week, and we'll begin with the changing of the seasons.
It is beautiful.
So we are now in mid-November, and we have reached the period of the year where here in Dubai, the weather gets very, very nice, especially for those of us coming from cooler temperatures.
Yes, and everyone who talks to you after you move here says, oh my gosh, you're going to love the weather in the winter. And we were like, I'm sure we will. Now it's here, and I get it.
So to give you an idea of where we're at right now, so we're talking about highs in about the mid 80s.
And today was 91.
Yeah, maybe a little more than that, but that's sort of where we're trending right now. And then the lows kind of in the low 70s.
Yeah.
And that is a pretty enjoyable temperature to be out there and outdoors with. I mean, we can actually start and do outdoor activities now.
Yes, it's perfect. Like, we are dealing with cool breezes. You might have seen my story last week when T and I were at the park, where I just was like, oh my gosh, the cool breeze. Every time there's a cool breeze, I'm so excited. But it made the whole park trip just nice. The loop around the track just really lovely.
Incidentally, that's a reason why you should be checking in on our Instagram page. You can see things like that, like on your Instagram story.
Yep, exactly. I don't do it every single day, but we definitely keep it updated a few times a week. And then it is allowing us to do something that T has been requesting since it started in mid-October. My school is doing this morning run club, and it goes before school. Honestly, it's hard for me to do because I cannot be to work on time if I do this with him. It's for elementary, and I work at the high school, but parents have to be there for a child who's 5. And so we haven't done it. And honestly, late October was way too hot for me. But now it's time, and really he needs to get that energy out.
Yeah, so what this is that they're allowing for what is Dubai Fitness Challenge Month.
Yes,
so that's what November is here in Dubai. It's the month to encourage people to be active and to get themselves into shape. And one of the things that T's school is doing is this morning run club.
Right.
Which they bring kids out to the track and they can go and run laps before school starts.
Yeah.
And I guess the reward for them is they get a little mark on their arm for each lap that they do.
Yeah. So we've only done it 2 days. We did it today and yesterday. And I was so proud of him. He did a whole mile on the first day. Well, they gave him the 4 stripes. He did like 3.5, but it was good enough. He was so happy about it. And it was hard for him. He doesn't know how to pace himself. He's 5. So he would run really fast and then stop and wait for me because I'm not running that fast. And so I was like jogging, walking. And then today he paced himself a little bit better, but he wore out kind of faster than he had yesterday. I think maybe a little bit of the, what's the word? The adrenaline had worn off maybe today. And I ran more today. Okay. So when I was at work later in the day, I was like, oh, my thighs are kind of sore.
Well, he made it to 5 laps today.
Oh, he did? Because I had to leave after 2.
So he's made progress.
That's amazing.
He went further today than he did the first day.
Oh, that's so great.
So that's a product of the weather changing.
Yeah.
And another product is that I can go for walks during the day now.
That's huge.
That was something that I couldn't do, and being kind of stuck at home for the time being. One of the things I could do, certainly back home in Seattle, is I would be able to take myself for a walk just to get some fresh air and to get my body moving a little bit. When the heat was so high here, wasn't really able to do that. But now if I find myself needing to do that, I can do that.
Yeah, and you would go to the gym now and then, but it is not the same as being outside in fresh air. It really feels different.
And today, when I'm speaking of fresh air, the visibility today was about as good as we've had since we've been here.
Yeah.
We have our view from the 9th floor of this apartment building, and we can kind of see over the highway and over the buildings into the water. You have to, there's not a great view of the water from our place, but you can see it on a clear day. Most days that isn't necessarily the case. Today, not only could we see the water, but we could kind of see land past the water. I'm not even sure what that land is.
We're like, is that connected to another part of the land, or is that an island? But yeah, it was really pretty. The air quality is not the best. There's a lot of dust here, and I'm sure, of course, pollutants like big cities have. So I get little Air Now, the app updates. But we are now at moderate, and we were at really unhealthy for quite a while. So it's really nice to be in that moderate space. I don't know if it gets to healthy in December. We'll find out.
But to kind of the real symbol of this changing of the seasons to being a pleasant outdoor experience came last Friday.
Yes.
When we and 2 other families joined together to go visit a place called the Arabian Tea House.
Yeah. Arabian Tea House is fairly famous in Dubai. There's a few different locations. And this one happened to be on the beach. So it's all outdoor seating. And our friends, they're new friends. We really like them. They actually attend the school next door. So we know them through our other friends who work there. They had us come to their house, and then we parked halfway between their house and the beach and the tea house, and so that we could walk along the beach.
Yeah.
And then it was free parking.
So this is a little different beach. It's out towards Kite Beach, which is where we'd been before and we talked about, but it was a little south from there. And I guess you were saying that it's called Sunset Beach?
Well, yeah. So I've heard 2 things. I think the person we were with, they had called it Sunset Beach. But then when I explained where we were to Arabian Tea House to a couple other people, coworkers or whatnot, they were like, oh, it's Kite Beach. So, and also to the people we met last Sunday, they said Kite Beach. I don't know. It was a really pretty beach. And who knows?
Well, it was very close to a very famous building here in Dubai called the Burj Al Arab, I guess is how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
You might have seen it if you ever see any commercials for visiting Dubai. It's the kind of sail-shaped hotel that is right on the beach. Mm-hmm. In fact, it's actually not on the beach. It's on a tiny little island that's off the beach. So there is a few feet of water before you go ahead and get to where the hotel is.
And what it's known for is how expensive it is.
Well, I mean, what did they just tell us?
Oh, yeah.
On
They
Friday?
said that you can't even walk in without paying 100 dirhams.
No, it was $100.
$100?
Yeah, well, at least that's what they said.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, that's a lot different than 100 dirhams.
Jeez, no kidding. And then, then they thought they would trick it. They would go up and get drinks. And then it turned out you had to spend a $250 minimum, I guess it was dollars.
Yeah.
to even use the restaurant or bar up there. So they were like, never mind.
Yeah. So the Arabian Tea House, it's how many of them are there here? There's 3 in the city.
Definitely 3, because there's one in the old souk area, and that's the one we were supposed to bring our parents to, because that's kind of the original. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where the other one is. There might be more than 3, but 3 is what is coming to mind.
But the one that we went to, like you said, it was all outdoor seating, but it was also right on the beach.
Yeah.
Which meant that for the kids, and all 3 families had kids of similar ages, they were able to go and play in the sand. And this was a super long beach. I mean, they could not get to the water from where they were, but they were very much in beach sand right next to where we were eating.
It was great because only a couple times did an adult have to go over there. Mostly they handled themselves, played in the sand, had their little moments. Of course, somebody might come tell us something, but overall they handled it. And that was great.
Well, what was also nice is that, T didn't really know the kids from the family who invited us out very much. They're 2 sisters who are
5 and 6.
5 and 6. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't know how that would go.
Right.
But he bonded pretty good with the 5-year-old, the one who's
Oh.
in the same grade that he's in.
She was great. Yeah. It was funny because at one point they were like clashing and then suddenly they adored each other. And then they like held hands walking back to the car and they were chatting. And I was like, more of this, please, because more girl in his life is good. He used to spend a lot of time with girls when he was younger, and it's just kind of he gravitates more towards boys now, and you also can see that in his kind of like behavior and some other things. So I was like, more girl energy, please. Thank you.
Well, and I don't know exactly the reasons why, but I think that there's a little more boy-girl dynamic in his class than there was at his preschool back in Seattle.
And it's hard to say if it's just because, oh, this is kindergarten, or if it's because it's just the makeup of the class, or if it's the culture, the school. I don't really know. But yeah, I'm trying to like make sure he doesn't lose his soft touch, because he does have that in there. Mm-hmm. And it's a really sweet side of him. You know, we don't want to lose that. And he can get big with his personality. So we gotta find that soft touch still.
So that was sort of the kids at the Arabian Tea House. What about for the adults? Tell us what that was like.
Yeah, so it took a minute, but they put 3 tables together so that we could all fit. And then they have really big menus. So they have a breakfast and a lunch and a dinner menu. It's all in one, kind of like Cheesecake Factory style, like a huge menu. And there were Middle Eastern dishes, of course. There were Arabic dishes. There were Indian dishes. And then lots of different kinds of teas. And we were able to just kind of sit back and relax and talk.
Well, one of the things that I thought was interesting as far as the selection is that they had Emirati specific food.
Oh, right. It wasn't just Arabic. It was Emirati. Yeah. Thank you.
And so there was a page that had Emirati and then a page that would have Arabic. Mm-hmm. And that was, something I don't think we'd encountered yet.
No.
And I don't think that we did a lot of exploring of that while we were there. So we can't really talk too much about the difference between Emirati and Arabic food.
Right. Although we've had Emirati food when we went to the cultural center, and they had some of those things on the menu. The only ones that I would know are the breakfast ones. But I'm eager to go there for breakfast with our parents, because I think that would be a way for them to experience that food, at least that we can say, yes, it's good. We've had this. And then we all had different teas.
Yes.
Also.
Well, I mean, it's a tea house. So
yes.
You got to try a tea, right?
Yes. So Nick's tea was the funniest experiment.
Well, I know I like to try things that are a little different.
Yes, you do.
And so they had one of their teas that was on kind of their specialty page.
Yeah.
It was a za'atar tea.
Yeah. So maybe there might be listeners, mainly our family, who know what za'atar is. Or you might not, but it's a Middle Eastern spice.
Yeah.
Like a flavor. It's like a different flavor that we've had back home. Mm-hmm. I can't even remember why we had za'atar back home.
I think it was in one of the blue aprons.
Oh, yeah. And then you liked it a lot. So you like found ways to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was really good.
Yeah. But it's a savory.
Yeah.
Sort of spice.
Very savory.
It's not something that, you would think of associating with tea necessarily.
No, in fact, last week at school, it was one of our staff members' birthdays, like one of our admin team's birthdays, and they brought in flatbreads. I can't remember what it was called, but flatbreads with different flavorings, and some were filled with cheese, some were filled with something else, some were filled with za'atar. So like that's how I expect to have it.
Okay. Yeah, so it was it was exactly as you would expect. If you know the flavor of za'atar, that tea was a za'atar flavored tea, which was fine. I mean, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
But I don't think everyone would necessarily find that too. And I know I got a lot of strange looks from everyone around the table.
Yeah. Like, oh, are you going to get that? Interesting choice. It actually reminded me, this goes way back in college, but when I was with a good friend on a spring break trip, we were in California and we met up with another friend of ours who had already graduated. And we drove out to Napa Valley. Okay. So this is in the 90s. We drove out to Napa Valley. My friend got a grass shot. Okay, we were at like a juice bar or something. She got a grass shot. And I was like, that sounds terrible. But she was like, I've always wanted to try one. And then why do I remember this story? I don't know, but it was so funny to me. And then she tries it and she has this look on her face and we're like, what does it taste like? She's like, freshly mowed grass. And it just kind of reminds me of, what does it taste like? Za'atar. Of course it does.
But so I had that, but what kind of tea did you have?
I had, I had the ginger tea. Yeah, I shared it with our friend and it was very spicy ginger, but they also bring it with a little thing of honey and that made it really good. But it was still spicy, but super tasty. I liked it a lot. I drank quite a bit. Tea had a little bit with the honey in it, but he would have had a hard time without the honey in it. It was super spicy.
And then one of our party ordered kind of the specialty tea that they're known for.
How was that?
Well, the thing is that so they actually brought the wrong teas to me and that person.
Oh, did he try the Za'atar tea?
That's he was like, I don't think this is what I ordered. And I had a little bit of the one that they gave me. So I got to taste the house specialty and It was nice. It was very nice.
Yeah. Oh, good.
It was very sort of mint like and herbal that way.
Yeah.
So it was a nice tea. It would definitely have that tea again.
Cool.
I would prefer that to the Za'atar tea for sure.
Yeah, of course. But you tried it. You got it out of your system.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
And then the food was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had a shawarma.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No. I had a falafel sandwich or a falafel wrap.
Oh, okay.
But T had a shawarma. It looked good. And you got like some rice and chicken dish. Your original order wasn't available, so you got
right.
Well,
what they did is they gave me just regular white rice instead of the rice that was designed for that dish. But it was fine. It was good. Yeah, I really enjoyed the food.
And just a pleasant place to be, and sitting outside is nice in nice weather.
Yeah,
you know?
and we were out there until after it got dark, and we were out there in shorts and t-shirts, and you were still fine, but you were starting to feel the weather a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the breeze, and it was definitely the moment of, okay, outdoor season has begun here in Dubai.
Yeah, we're going to go home to Seattle at Christmas, and we're going to be freezing our buns off in like what's not really that freezing of weather. Anyway, and then sort of an amusing story is T at the end of, or like while we were at dinner, he's like, I want to go to McDonald's. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we haven't been to McDonald's here ever. And we've like, haven't even been at home. He's been one time and it was with his grandparents. And that was like 3 years ago. So I was like, what? I really want to go to McDonald's. Can we go to McDonald's? I'm like, no. What do you want? He's like, I want ice cream. I was like, oh, I don't know if we can have ice cream at home. We have some ice cream here. So that settled him down. And then we start walking back to the car, and we're walking along it's not a boardwalk, but it is a pathway that has a walking path and then a running path and then also a wheels path. So like all three kind of next to each other, and they all go along next to the beach. And then the beach has loads of people on it, lying there playing volleyball, like so many things. It really is like, this is life in Dubai. I get it. Okay, this is so nice. Anyway, we're walking. We get to this kiosk and they have ice cream. And he's like, there's McDonald's. We were like, oh, well, actually, no, sure, that's McDonald's.
Yeah. We there's now one McDonald's in the world as far as tea, as far as we're gonna tell tea. That is McDonald's.
You got it. But thankfully, all the parents agreed to get ice cream, so we could do it.
I suspect that he must have some classmates who get ice cream at McDonald's.
I'm sure that's true.
So that's probably why he associates McDonald's with the concept of ice cream.
I'm sure that's true. And honestly, it's soft serve. Like it's really, it's fine. If you're going to get something, and if you love McDonald's, great. If you don't love McDonald's, you probably could be okay with their ice cream. Anyway, so moving on to school musicals.
Yeah, so this has been School Musical Week for not just your school, but the school next door as well.
Yeah.
And so we got to take in 2 school musicals here in the span of what, 5 days?
Yeah, and if you know us, if you listen to our podcast, you know we love a musical. I mean, I especially love a musical, but Nick also loves a musical. Do you not?
I can enjoy musicals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't want anybody to think I'm forcing my husband to go to musicals. I am not. He enjoys them, but I just make it happen. But he does like them. So we went to the one for the school next door. They were doing Something's Rotten.
So this was on Saturday.
Yeah.
And this is a school that apparently is very well known for its theater productions.
Right. You mention it to other people in town that don't go to that school, and then be like, oh yeah, their productions are really good. Like, I grew up at a high school that also was well known for its productions, and I know every region has, good schools for musicals. This is one of them.
Okay. And so we go there, and we don't know anything about this show, really.
No. Mm-mm.
So why don't you kind of explain what the show is all about?
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to do it justice, but basically it kind of plays on that rumor that Shakespeare didn't write his own stuff. And there's lots of conspiracy or non-conspiracy theories. I don't know. I could be convinced. But it basically kind of plays on that idea. And it's this fictional story about a troupe that has two brothers who are the head, the writers, and also the director. And then they have a bunch of actors. Shakespeare apparently used to be in that troupe, and he wasn't a very good actor. So they kicked him out and said, go be a writer. He went and became a writer. And then he won all the accolades and all the money. So they're angry at him, and they're also kind of broke. So it's about them trying to figure it out, and then using a soothsayer, like playing with Shakespeare's stuff. Anyway, it's Shakespeare himself. It doesn't have a big role until about a third of the way through. And then he's very funny. He is very egotistical. He's kind of a jerk.
Well, they kind of make him out to sort of be a rock star personality.
Yeah, he's like wearing a leather coat. Yeah, he is funny. And the show is funny. There were some really quality actors and some really quality singers. And the one who played Shakespeare is excellent. I think he's a junior, so that'll be fun to see him next year. He also happened to babysit T one time because his name was given to us as somebody who could do that. And he did. And so every time he would come out on stage, we were like in pretty high up seats. T would wave
Yeah.
like maniacally at him. It was really cute. Of course, he couldn't see it, but he was so excited just to see him on stage. He was very, very good. And there were lots of people who were very, very good. It's a very well put together production. Lots of good voices. It's still a high school musical. So it's not Broadway quality. It's not touring Broadway quality, but it's very good. And then you heard from somebody at dinner the night before that 3 of those cast members are going.
Well, I think it was, one of our friends who work at the school were saying that there are like 5 very strong seniors.
Okay.
And I think 5 seniors who are moving on to university.
5, jeez.
For theater.
Yeah. And so like even the main actors were all really good. Mostly. And the ones who weren't strong singers were still really good actors. And that was really cool to see because you're like, well, you're not a great singer, making it happen, but gosh, that actor is good. And then some really, really strong singers. So it was really an enjoyable production. And the audience was great. They have a well-oiled machine there, like their concessions, how to buy flowers for cast members. They had like, parent volunteers doing all of this. And then they had buckets by like alphabetical buckets for you to put your flower in so the cast member could get it later with little notes. It was very, very nice situation that they had going on there.
And for you as a musical person, one of the things that was fun was that this show has all kinds of references to other musicals.
Yes. In addition to references, of course, to Shakespeare, it also did like throw out lines from other musicals. One song in particular was referencing like Sound of Music and Mary Poppins. And it was just fun. I mean, if you know basic kind of everyone knows them musicals, then you would you recognized them. Yeah. So no, it was fun. We really, really enjoyed it. He was not, I think being that far back was hard for him. So he was fidgety. He was tired.
Well, it was a long show.
It was a long
too.
show.
I mean, that was
Yeah.
we were there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And that's a long time for a 5-year-old.
He's done long shows because Mary Poppins was long, Peter Pan was long, but we sat much closer. And I do think that makes a difference for him. So anyway, that was a great experience. And then my school has their production this week. So we went today to their afternoon show, and it's not as big of a culture to do theater, to do musicals.
Yeah. For example, there, to be able to do this, they need to combine both the high school and the middle school to get enough students to be able to put on a musical like this.
Yeah. Now, by doing that, they have a good sized cast. So that was nice. And they rotate. So it's like every other show, some cast members are lead and some are ensemble. So they kind of get to trade back and forth on that, which is nice. People get more of a chance to do lead roles that way, or do roles with speaking parts. It was better than I expected, because I'd kind of been told basically from people, don't expect a lot after you see an ASD production. But you know what? There was some really quality talent in the show.
I mean, especially, from kids who clearly were the middle school contingent.
Oh my gosh. One of them, she was fantastic. I was like, oh, she does theater classes. 100%. There aren't, as I've said before, there's not enough theater in Dubai, but there are a lot of theater classes. And you kind of hear about the ones that are well known or the best ones out there. And so, yeah, there were a few cast members where you were like, oh, they're going somewhere with this. Yeah. Maybe they don't want to go to college for it, but maybe they do, because you can see why.
So the show, of course, was Into the Woods, which is reference to a lot of different fairy tales.
Yes.
And one of the fun things is that some of the actors went around to the elementary school classes in costume.
Yes.
To kind of just promote the show.
Yeah.
And let all the young ones know that it was happening.
Yeah.
And we know that it was Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf who came to T's class.
Yes.
Well, Little Red Riding Hood is this very good middle schooler.
Superstar middle schooler. Yeah. Wow.
And so once again, we got T kind of waving to one of the people on stage.
Yes. I think I don't know if he knew her from that, but I feel like I see her out sometimes near the playground in the mornings, because I'm pretty sure she has said hello to him a few times, and he's always like glad that she does. So, because he always is appreciative of an older kid who acknowledges him. But yeah, she was fantastic. There were a couple other kids where I was like, wow, this is awesome. The other thing I'll point out that I thought was really cool is they have a huge crew from both middle and high school. It looked like maybe more high schoolers, but it's huge. And I know, because my colleague helps backstage doing like makeup and costumes and just in general, she's been doing this for years. I know that crew is a tight group, and I know that they love doing this. And a lot of them have done it since middle school, doing it in high school. And I loved that they all came out and got center stage at the end.
Yeah, they took a bow. I don't know.
I've
never seen that before. So that was fun to see.
And they were all wearing their Into the Woods t-shirts, which they've been wearing at school to advertise. It was very sweet. So all in all, like, the audience was disruptive.
We were at a 3:30 show, so right after school.
Yeah,
and so we had the show with all the youngest kids at it.
Jam-packed with elementaries. So our kid, who's usually actually pretty good during a show, if somebody came over and said, "Hi, T," he would be like, "Hi!" And then he'd start getting distracted and want to go with them. And we were like, "No, you don't get to wander around." But some kids were just wandering around. Some parents were wandering around. It was just a different culture. Yeah. So it was an interesting, but I wish that I can't go to a night one this week, but if I could I'd like to go to a night one next year and see if that's different. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, I'm so glad that we got this experience this week. 2 musicals. Woohoo! Yeah. And 2 musicals I know Into the Woods a little bit, but I did not know Something Is Rotten. So super fun to see one we didn't know.
All right. So a good week of musical theater in a city where we have said there's not a lot of musical theater.
Maybe we should look at the other high schools in the area. We could start going to other musicals. Or actually, some of the universities. Because I know NYU Abu Dhabi had Othello recently. Okay. So maybe things like that would be a way to go.
All right.
Okay.
Inspiration.
Okay. So on to the most exciting part of next week.
Oh, yes. So this was actually last night that I went out to my first professional basketball game here in Dubai.
So cool.
So they have a pro team that's just called Dubai Basketball. And that is actually a pretty high level. So this is a team that plays in the Turkish league, but also plays in the Euro League. So this is all the best teams from all the different countries in Europe kind of coming together to play in one league. And so that's kind of the highest level here in this part of the world.
So wait, can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
The Turkish league is just Turkey?
Well, no, it's Turkey and the vicinity. Because there's some
is it
other
like
teams.
Middle East, or is it
No,
Europe?
it's more Eastern European.
Eastern European.
Along
Okay.
with Turkey.
I was just curious because I was like, wait, what's the difference between the Turkish league and the Euro League? But they're both they're known for their strong basketball.
Okay, so I'll explain the Euro League then.
Yeah.
So it's you have all the different countries kind of have their own league, like France and the UK and Spain and Greece and Turkey, where it's teams just from that country or the country and surrounding countries.
Okay.
And then the best teams from each of those leagues all come together and play in a second league called the Euro League.
Ah.
So if you know the soccer setup in Europe, it's a lot like that. It's kind of like the Champions League.
Okay.
For soccer.
Thanks for explaining that for those of us who do not follow any of those things and had no clue.
So that's mainly just to let everyone know that this is a pretty high level of basketball that's being played.
That's helpful.
So the reason I was there, it all kind of stems from a conversation that I had with that family when we went and visited Greece. Or not visited Greece, when we went to the musical Greece. Let me rephrase that.
We wish we'd visited Greece, but Greece the musical was a happy second.
So for those who may have not heard in a previous episode, so when we went and saw the musical Greece at Dubai Opera House, we ended up sitting next to a family where the father kind of ended up giving me some contacts.
Yeah,
some
he was so
potential job
generous
contacts.
with his willingness to do that.
And one of those contacts was the general manager of the big indoor arena here in Dubai. It's called the Coca-Cola Arena, and it's a really, really nice facility. I mean, it's seats 17,000 for a concert, and it's, as you would think of anything in Dubai, lights up big on the outside.
Yeah,
and the inside is really nice as well. It's about 7 years old, so it's pretty new too.
Where would you say it is? Like what part of Dubai?
Yeah, it's downtown.
Okay.
It's a little bit west of where the Burj Khalifa is.
Okay.
But it's right there in the heart of all the big stuff. There's a area called City Walk that is right next to.
Okay.
I don't know if you know anything about that. I don't either, but
we haven't done enough exploring downtown yet.
You know, there's a chance that we'll be talking about City Walk in a new episode sometime in the future, because they have the class picnic scheduled for a park right out there.
Okay,
which is coming up in 2 Fridays from now.
Yeah.
So maybe in 2 weeks I'll be able to discuss a little bit more about what
class
City Walk's all
picnic
about.
is in 2 Fridays. Okay, got it.
But anyway, so that's where it is. It was a really awful drive to get out there, because anytime you're driving downtown during rush hour, that's just going to be challenging and difficult. But got there in time and got to experience my first professional sporting event really here in Dubai.
And what'd you think?
So yeah, it was great. It was, they don't seat 17,000 for the basketball games. They curtain off the top level. So I think the attendance for basketball games is more like 6,000. And this was a Tuesday night, so it wasn't a sellout. It wasn't completely full. But there's probably 4,000 people there.
That's not bad.
And they were playing, so Dubai was playing a EuroLeague game against a team from Serbia. I'm not going to try to pronounce the Serbian version of the name, but it's Red Star Belgrade, which is actually a very famous club in all sports.
Okay.
From there, and so they're a very good team. They're actually at the time were atop the standings in the EuroLeague.
Oh, cool.
And so we got to watch that, and to get an idea of of what kind of level that we're talking about, there's some names on Dubai basketball that people who, if they're following the NBA fairly closely, they'd recognize. So there's a guy named Dwayne Bacon who had, a career in the NBA who's playing for Dubai basketball. There's a guy named Davis Bertans who also had a pretty good NBA career. And for all you Gonzaga fans out there, Philip Petrusev plays on this team.
Oh, cool. Wait, are your parents listening?
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
And actually, most of your family.
So you guys got to be Dubai basketball fans because there's a Zag on the team.
Cool.
So that's kind of what we're talking about as the level. And, from a game production standpoint, it's felt very NBA. I mean, they've got what sounds like an American doing the PA announcing, and he's all fired up as he's doing it all the way. During like halftime and the quarter breaks, they got a big performance on court, and they had the trampoline dunk guys out there for this game. So they had guys flying high through the air to go dunk. They do the games with the fans where they're trying to shoot baskets to win prizes during timeouts and stuff. So it felt very familiar. I mean, they had cheerleaders even. I mean, they weren't like NBA caliber cheerleaders or anything like that, but they had that. So
do they have like a national anthem that they play or any kind of music? Okay.
No national anthem for these games.
Okay.
But it was very familiar. I was seated in a spot because I was given tickets, and I was seated in a spot with the Red Star fans. And actually, there were a lot of fans of Belgrade, which I'm now realizing. I bet you a lot of the games here have a lot of away support because
totally.
Because number one, you've got the expat communities from all these places that already live here in Dubai.
Yes.
And then secondly, this is a location people want to come for vacation anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're in Belgrade and you want to go have your November outing somewhere, what better place to go than Dubai?
Totally. I mean, this makes a lot of sense. And we have a lot of people from Eastern Europe living here who might have already been fans. So yeah.
So it was a pretty partisan crowd, at least from a sound standpoint. The Red Star fans were definitely the loud ones.
Yeah.
And I happened to be seated with Red Star fans, and my section was the fans who wanted to stand up the whole game. So that meant I got to stand up the whole game in order to be able to see. So that was a bit unfortunate for me, but fine for them. I mean, that's how they want to do it. They can do it. But so this was ostensibly a chance to connect for job purposes for me.
Yeah.
And so during the break between the third and fourth quarters, I actually did get a chance to meet with the general manager of the arena.
That's so great.
Real nice guy. Came and found me, and we got to chat for a little bit. Not for a long time, but he did say that he would, kind of put my name out there for whether it's, trying to do some ghostwriting for the arena or finding some other sport related people that he knows that might have some interest in someone like me. We'll see if anything comes of it, but it was really nice to have somebody saying that they were going to, look out for me and help me out some.
Yeah, so, that's great. And
so it felt good.
Yeah.
And it would be fun to do something like write some stories for a website for the basketball team or something like that.
You are very sports knowledgeable, and you love to write. You're a great writer. So it's a perfect fit for you if you can do it.
Yeah. I mean, when we're talking about the sport culture here isn't like it is back in the States. I mean, you're not going to get the same kind of fandom for the local teams the way you would back in the US. But a lot of these sports, there isn't necessarily a high level of knowledge of the local base. I think the main sport here would be cricket because there's such an Indian population in the city. And unfortunately, that's the sport I wouldn't necessarily be able to cover effectively. But when you're talking about these more American-centered sort of sports, that's something that I would definitely be able to lend my knowledge to.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I know you, if you did get a chance to cover a sport you don't know, you would do it. You didn't cover hockey until you covered hockey.
That's true.
You didn't know the game until you started covering it. So you learned the game pretty fast.
Yeah, and I do have a basic working knowledge of cricket.
Yeah.
I did spend a year in London in my youth and did
Yeah.
did watch cricket while I was there.
Yeah. I bet you knew more about cricket than you knew about what's the wave thing that you did.
The flow rider.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yep. Okay, so that was a really, really good experience for
Well,
you.
and then Dubai won the game, so that was great too. So
Ends on a victory.
go Dubai.
That's
it was a bit of an
fantastic.
upset. So yay to the home team.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great way to start your like visiting teams, or I shouldn't say that. That's a great way to have your first sports experience here. Sport experience here. Okay, so we will finish this with this episode with our excellence and boguses.
Well, let's make sure we say it right with our
excuse
excellence and boguses.
Why did I say it at all? You always say it. I'm not sure why I did that. Okay, so
why don't you get us started with your excellent?
Okay, so our excellent, and I'm sorry to save this to the end, especially if our new friends are listening, but we visited with a couple on Sunday. They invited us for lunch, and they are friends, or the husband is friends with a long time family friend of mine. So, and you know them too. Mm-hmm. But I went to church with these people, and they've always been in my life, like really since I was in elementary school. And they're just wonderful people, this couple. And so the husband he reconnected with this friend that he went to high school with several years ago, and they've just stayed in touch ever since. He's a really interesting man, and he had told me all about him. He said he lives in Dubai. He's lived there since the 70s. Like, you need to connect. He just kept trying to make us connect. And he eventually arranged a Zoom call that I was really late to, while the guy was actually in London recovering from COVID. And so many things were keeping us from meeting, but it's fine. Like, you're going out of your way to introduce yourself to somebody that just moved here. Like, I don't expect people to do that for us, but thank you to our friend for trying so hard. Anyway, he did invite us over. He and his wife invited us over on Sunday, and we didn't have any plans. And so we went over, and they live in a villa in Jumeirah, so not too far from the beach. It's a really pretty area. It really wasn't too far from where we were on Friday night.
Right.
And so it was nice to be in that area. This is a lovely area. And their home was lovely. They've only lived there since the summer, but their home was lovely. Their garden was beautiful. It was like a deserty garden. And but T was like really into it. They had a cat who's just so good with people. And also it's just so nice to be with a real cat who would take the pets and all the cuddles.
I mean, that's nice because we've seen a lot of cats because there's a lot of feral cats at the parks in this city, in this part of the city in particular, but you don't really want to touch those cats.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, I'll see people touch them, but you just don't know. I've heard stories of ringworms, so we're just careful about that. But this cat was a domesticated cat, so it was fine, and just lovely, so sweet. And anyway, they served us a wonderful lunch, but they're just such interesting and interested people. So it was so easy to talk with them, and they have such a long history in Dubai, and then also such fascinating stories from their childhood. It's like, she's Emirati, he's American, but she grew up in Trinidad. I mean, the stories were fascinating, and I was asking questions, so that's why I was getting the stories, but they were also asking questions, and it just was an easy flow. And also, I thought this was really cool. We didn't know he would be there, but a longtime friend that she grew up with in Trinidad was also there, because he missed his flight the night before. He was also very kind and interesting. He's a professor, I think, in what country was it? It wasn't Jordan, but another Middle Eastern country that I'm blanking on right now. Anyway, everybody was super interesting. Everybody was so warm. It honestly was a highlight of our time so far. I have not seen T that at ease with strangers since we've moved here. I haven't seen him actually that at ease, really, in a group setting in any form, even if they're not strangers at this point. I don't know what it was about that home. I don't know if it just felt homey, if it was that there was a cat, if it was just the people, or all of the above. I don't know, but you and I and T all left just feeling lifted up, right? Like, oh, wow. Can can you be our family here? Like that's how it felt. Like this feels so good. I hope they didn't feel so drained by us. They could have. Because we were there a long time. And I'm still learning the protocols on like what's okay. How long do we stay? Is it bad? You know?
Yeah.
I had to look up like what's a good gift. I actually looked up gifts and then somebody told us at Gaelic football what a common gift is. So we brought a box of baklava, which I got delivered to our home before we left, because I was like, I don't know if we want to run around trying to find some.
There's Dubai culture for you. We had 45 minutes that we were at home between Gaelic football and leaving for
their house.
this lunch, and we managed to get baklava delivered to our door.
Yes.
In that time period.
Yes. And it was great. And it was good. And then like they also were like, yeah, feel free to go upstairs, explore. And it was just felt so comfortable. I was like, there's no hands-off situation here. I mean, of course there are things that T can't play with, but it didn't feel like it was just felt nice. Yeah. It just felt nice. I was like, thank you. This is a lovely, lovely space and a lovely environment. And I just loved it. So yes to that.
Okay. So an excellent lunch outing for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then I guess for me, my excellent for the week is getting T's bike put together.
Yes.
So we brought T's bike on the plane with us. We got a big bike box and had to take the bike apart and pack it up into this big cardboard box, which ended up getting wrapped up in this stuff at the airport.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that in an earlier episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
And since we got here, it's been sitting on our balcony in the box.
Next to the laundry rack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Getting all the dust on it.
Yep.
Because the weather just wasn't good enough to go biking at all.
Yep.
And, it's not like we got lots of places where we can stash this stuff in the apartment. No. So it was just hanging out there for a few months. But now that the weather's gotten a little better, I decided it was time to put that thing back together.
Yep.
And managed to, I think, get it together without it falling apart.
It looks good. We brought it over to a friend's house yesterday because I had a work event and you had the basketball game, and they were going to watch T for us. And so they were like, bring his bike. I don't even know if he used it.
He did. Yeah.
Oh, he did. Okay,
yeah.
Good.
So it wasn't a lot, but
okay.
It's been a long time since he's actually used it now. This is a bike that was pretty new this past summer, and we went up 2 sizes instead of 1 to get some more time out of this one.
Yeah.
But because of that, it was a little bit tall for him.
Yeah.
Over the summer when we were back in Seattle.
Yeah.
He had figured it out by the time we left.
But it was never quite comfortable for him.
Because he wasn't able to start himself easily because he's kind of on his tiptoes to try to get started.
And barely on his tiptoes.
Yeah. So the good news is that he's grown since we've been here, and he's in a better spot height-wise to be able to get himself started on it. Now, he's also several months removed from the last time he was successfully able to ride his bike.
Yeah.
And so he definitely was, he tried it on his own at first.
Oh, did he try it when you went back to give the helmet?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, got it.
And didn't have a perfect time. And so we had to go back and luckily our friend got a scarf out that could use to use kind of as a towel under his arms to help keep him up. And we got going, and he was able to do it again. And then he did one without the scarf. But then he was there with the 3-year-old who was ready to move on. And so when the 3-year-old moved on, he was like, okay, I'm ready to move on too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we didn't get much time in, but it was a nice little starter.
I'm thinking I might bring it to the park this week because maybe we do one walk around and then maybe we could do a bike around.
Okay.
Yeah. Although I don't have a bike. It's a little tricky because there's a loop for bikes or wheels and I don't have a wheel, but if there's not other kids there, it should be okay. Or not other people on it, it should be okay. But it's nice to be in a season where we can be doing the outdoor activities. Yeah. That's so amazing. All right. So on to boguses.
Yeah, so let's have you go first.
Okay. So my bogus it's about work, and it's not a complaint about work or anything like that. Because I do like my job. It's just the counselor sadness that I always have no matter where I work, that I cannot meet all my student needs. Like there's just not enough time and there's so many needs. So I'm just kind of deep in that right now. And I know a lot of my team is just feeling kind of emotional about that in general. Like, oh, there's a lot of needs and we can't meet them all. And so I'm feeling bummed about it.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You have a hard job.
Yeah.
In the sense that you are dealing with teens who are going through a pretty transitional time in their lives.
Yeah.
And are going through big changes, big growth.
Yeah.
And that's something that emotionally is challenging to deal with. And being able to support those people is great. I often talk about how you're out there saving the kids.
I wouldn't say that, but yes, thank you. I mean, and my job, just to explain, I'm a comprehensive counselor, which we do in the States. We do at my school. There's other schools in Dubai that do that too, but it's not super common in the international world. And I might have talked about this before, but we do academic counseling. So academic guidance. We also do, college career counseling and guidance. And then we also do social emotional support. And of course, the social emotional support that ends up kind of trumping everything else depending on the need. But we do have high demand for the academic and career guidance here, especially, I would say, more than I'm used to from back home. We did that there too, but the parents weren't asking for quite as much as we get here. So when we do our one-on-one meetings that are pre-scheduled with like every student, the parents are invited. A lot of them join on teams, and they often have a lot of questions. Not all of them. And these are very valid questions. Of course, they want to know, and people are from all different countries, so they want to know about all different things. So the needs are everything. They're everything, and you just can't meet them all. It's hard. So send some good thoughts to all of our counselors in the whole world,
yes,
please,
because they're doing important work, and but it's challenging, and so there are times when you're just feeling the way that you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I love my students though, and I love my team.
All right, so let's move on to my bogus, and my bogus involves the pool here in our building. So as you've heard in previous episodes, we were using this pool a fair amount,
like once a week.
Earlier when we were here. It was more frequent when we were first getting here. I mean, it was harder to get outside to do anything.
That's true.
We didn't know as many things to do. And so the
we didn't know as
pool
many people.
was a good outlet, especially for being able to get tea to do something physical.
And it was free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of reasons why. We've been doing it less lately. And I've also noticed when I've walked past the pool, you're less likely to see people in there.
Yeah.
Well, on Monday...
And I haven't done a lap swim in so long, which is sad because I love lap swimming.
But on Monday, it was a professional development day for the elementary school, which meant that T was off from school.
Right.
But you were still working.
Right, because it wasn't a high school one. Yeah.
So it was me and T for the full day, and I'm looking for things for us to do, and one thing I decided that we should try is just go down to the pool. Usually he has his swim class on Mondays at his school, so I thought, well, this would be a good day to use the pool so that he gets that time in the pool that he's missing out on this week,
right? Because
they weren't in school on Monday. Well, we go down there and we get into the pool, and the pool water is cold.
Like, you noticed it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, T really noticed it.
Aww.
And it was like, so this is why you don't see people in the pool the way that you used to. I think that maybe just the changing temperature has cooled down enough to where the pool water is just not as warm as it was.
Wow, that's really interesting. I wonder if this happens every year.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, we certainly aren't knowledgeable about how things work.
I don't even know who to ask that of.
But so we only last like maybe 10 minutes in the pool. Because of T was just getting cold.
Yeah, and I think I'd probably be okay if I were doing laps.
Right, yeah, and I was okay. I mean, it wasn't the most comfortable, but I was okay, and I'm telling him, look, you move around, you're going to warm your body up.
Yeah. But he's tall and lanky. He doesn't have a lot of extra on him. And so he does get colder. He runs warm in general, but water does get him cold.
Yeah. So that was a little bit disappointing that we weren't able to kind of get the swim practice in that I would have liked to have gotten him on Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know what, maybe if we don't even know who to talk to about it. Maybe you can put in a message to Wassel or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would be nice. Yeah, I don't know. Do we ask the lifeguard? The lifeguards are like rotating and they aren't permanent. It's hard to say. Yeah, and they don't control the pool temperature. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it might be interesting just to ask or security. Security might know who to ask. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's a fair bogus, especially for a kid who needs practice swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, we are wrapped up for the week. Next week, we'll try to do this earlier because I get to go to London on Wednesday for a couple nights for work. So I'm not paying for it or anything like that, but visit a college. I'm excited. It's my first college visit at this school. And also I don't know anyone in London, so I'm kind of bummed about that because I wish I did meet up with somebody. Anyway, I think it'll be a good trip, but it will be also your first time alone with T for a couple days.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Anyway, for anybody listening who wants to ask us questions or just wants to follow our Instagram page, we'd love to have you there. We always love followers. We love it when you share this podcast with others. Please do. And we take your feedback too. So send us any comments or questions through the messaging. And also, reminder, we're now on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, thank you for listening as always. And be excellent to one another.
Have a great week, everyone.